My guest today is a singer and a songwriter named Bruno Christensen, and he lives in Denmark. That is so cool. Welcome to Small Talk.
People come from all walks of life, they all have lives they lead. Any and all are welcome here to come and chat with me.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Small Talk. I'm really excited to talk to my guest, Bruno. Welcome to the show, Bruno.
Thank you, and thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, it's a pleasure for sure. Now, I know you're in Denmark, right?
Yes, I'm in Denmark. Yes,
That's where you're from, correct?
yeah, I'm from Denmark. I live an hour away from our capital, Copenhagen.
Oh, okay.
So it'll take me 1 hour in a car to Copenhagen. But I live in the countryside, a small village with only 50 or 70 houses. So
Is that right, eh? That is really small.
That's very small.
What time is it there? Just out of curiosity.
It's 8 o'clock in the evening.
In the evening, so it's not too bad then.
Oh, it's not too bad.
Yeah. Okay.
What time is it at your place?
11 a.m.
Wow, that's
So it's not too bad, you know. So
no.
yeah, so I was reading through your bio, and thank you very much for sending it, by the way. And it says that your sister gave you your first guitar. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. When I grew up in another place in Denmark, I was the last one of four siblings, and my older sister, she was playing guitar, singing, and playing in a band, and her my brother-in-law, they got me my first guitar, and that was when I was I think in 7th grade.
Right.
So it's many years ago.
But
I still have that guitar.
Oh, wow. Well, that's pretty good. I'd like to hear that. And so that you just got right into music right away, didn't you?
I did. In the beginning, I was listening to the music that my older brothers and my sister was listening to as the youngest, and well, I've always listened to a lot of music on records and radio, and of course going to concerts when I got a bit older, in 7th grade. But yeah, playing that guitar and starting quite early to write my own original songs. And I've been playing and singing actually ever since. So it's a big part of my life, in good times and bad times.
Yeah, for everybody it's that way, right? So in the early years, like when you're writing and your own songs, were you out performing as well?
Yes, we did. I was playing in a band with other I think when I got in the 8th and 9th grade and starting high school, I was playing in a band, and we did gigs. And we only played our own songs, both in Danish and in English.
Right.
So that was very great as a young man at 15, 16 to get out there with his friends and be on a stage.
Right. I just want to, because you said in both Danish and English, is it common for people in Denmark to speak English?
No, it's not. It's not common to speak it well. We do learn English as a second language in school from, I think, 2nd grade. Right. And there's a lot of people in Denmark will understand a lot of English and speak pretty all right, and read it. And we also have a lot of influence from, television, movies from the US, and music from UK, US, Canada, and so on. So it's yeah.
So let's go back to, because you mentioned English, I just had to ask that, but I want to go back to music. What was I going to ask? What style of music were you into when you were younger?
When I was younger, the first band I was very much into was the Kiss, rock and roll, Kiss from New York. Listened to their music, and it was my older brother, Bjarne, he got a few records, and I just loved it. It was rock and roll, and that was, I like them, still like them very much.
Right.
And then after a while, I think in '84, I got very much into Bruce Springsteen. It was when Born in the USA, the album came out, and I'm a big fan of Bruce Springsteen, both his songwriting and his lyrics and his storytelling and the energy he's got in his music performances.
Yeah.
I was lucky to get to some of those big concerts in Copenhagen years back, and that was awesome. 4 hours of energy. that was great.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I also saw Kiss actually a couple of times back then.
Very
So it's been also I remember Bryan Adams was big for me. Loved his songs, and that type of music, rock, not too much heavy metal for me, but actually I have a broad scale of music that I like. I really like a lot of different kinds of music. Madonna, Lady Gaga, you name it. If it's good, I really love it. So,
yeah.
So,
I think it's good to have a wide interest in music, right?
It's also good when I write songs myself. I think I was writing a couple of songs in the summertime, and I can really hear in it that at that time I had a CD of Billy Joel in my car, and that was totally different from what I would do when I listened to Springsteen, but but it was nice because there's a different vibe to it, and that will help the creation of my own work to be different.
Very good. Now, speaking of your work now, I know that you said you wrote a lot of songs when you were younger, but at some point, as you got older, you rewrote them, correct?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think when I was 18, I decided not to pursue music as a career at that time. So I went to junior college and university and took a master's degree in USA history. And then I've been teaching for 20 years. And then 4 years ago, I was at a meeting with maybe 50 people, and I was singing a couple of Bruce Springsteen songs for the other guys there, and one of them came up to me and said, "Hey, Bruno, did you write some songs yourself?" Well, I said, "Yeah, I did that maybe 30 years ago." But he said, "Maybe you should work on that again." And I went back home and started rewriting my old songs.
Right.
And then now 4 years later, it's I write new stuff all the time, actually.
But you have some singles out there, right?
Yeah, I got at this point I got 7 singles out there. Released my 7th 1st of January to start the new year. to get out there. So I got 7 now. I got more coming.
More coming.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about some of your songs now. In 2019, you wrote a world or put out A World Tomorrow.
Yeah,
right?
I did that.
So what is that one about?
That one is actually it's first of all, it's a song that I wrote in Danish those 30 years ago. And then I rewrote it in English in 2017. And then I moved to the other end of the country, closer to Copenhagen, and got into a studio there and recorded it. And the story is actually about that life has its ups and downs, and you have to face the fact that there is good times, and those you have to embrace and enjoy, and still at the same time be grateful, because you know in your own life, I think most people have experienced times in their lives where some bad things happen, and you know that you will have to accept that life goes up and down, and that's why I say there's a world tomorrow and a world today,
Right.
and a world in you and a world in me. So if it's bad today, there's still a world tomorrow.
That's right.
If it's good today, there's still a world tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's the meaning of that one.
Okay. And then in 2020, it's Long Walk, right?
Yeah. And Long Walk, that was another of my old songs. I think that was in Danish at that point, and that was a teenage love song back then. And then when I rewrote it, it turned into a song about life. Now I'm 50 now, so at the point I was rewriting it, I was 46, and I was just thinking about that. My own life is a long walk that I'm actually doing on my own. Not that I'm being alone all the time, no. I'm with people, but sometimes I'm with the person doing sports maybe for hours, and sometimes I'm doing music for minutes with another person, and sometimes, well, my kids I have known now for 19 years, and we follow, but the only person who has ever been everywhere that I have been is myself. So that was the picture. That's a long walk, actually.
Right.
A bit of maybe picture of walking in the desert as well. That it's looking for the oasis of water.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. The next one was We Pray for It Every Day.
Yeah.
Right. That was in, well, you've had quite a number of them in 2021.
Yeah.
Dead to Me, When the Past Is Gone, and She Would Never Give In. So those are all from 2021, correct?
Yes, that's true. And they were all of those songs were actually produced with, well, it was in the middle of lockdown. So in Denmark at that time, I think last year in January or December 2020, everything was locked down, and even the studio that I was working with was locked down. And so I got in contact with people online, and Mark Sealing, who lives in New York, he produced the two songs, We Pray for It Every Day and Dead to Me. And actually what we were doing, I was recording my guitar and my vocal here in my home studio in Denmark. And then I sent it to him, and he put it together with his piano and drums and so on. So that was two, and I got one more that he has produced that I haven't released yet.
Okay.
So that was the start of that one. And then I got When the Past Is Done in the same way with a band from Scotland who's called Delirium Trees.
Right.
And I just wrote to Drew and Alexander, who was in that band, if they would try to do a song together with me sitting in Denmark, and they are in Scotland. And we did this one the same way. I recorded my guitar first, and then the vocal in two files over there, and then we put on some trumpets, brass trumpet, and that was great. And the last one, She Would Never Give In, same way. That was Angie Cusk from England, and she produced it, and I just sent her my vocals for that song.
That's so awesome, isn't it? Technology is wonderful.
It's wonderful, and it's actually it was a very strange time. 2020, 2021 still is all over the world.
Yeah.
And now at this point we got, well, it's not a totally lockdown in Denmark now, but the live music scene is locked down
Right.
right now. So I'm back at the desk, but I know it will open again. And I went to the studio in Copenhagen in late November, and that is where I recorded the last song I released, Brunos Children.
Right. No, you already have the names of the songs that you're going to be putting out in the future, right?
Yeah, I do. I do have one song that is produced by Mark Sealing. It's called "I Won't Go Back."
Okay.
And that's a song in the neighborhood. Well, it's actually wanting to look forward, knowing for me and for many other people, knowing that there are some things behind you that you don't want to look back on. In my mind was also, the story from the Bible, Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
Lot and his wife, they were not supposed to look back on what was very bad. Cities are burning and so on, but it's very hard not to do it. And sometimes you do look back, but you want to look forward. And that one will be released in this spring. Then I got another song called Gonna Jump Like an Eagle.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's a song I wrote in 1988. I didn't really change that much on the lyrics and the form of the song, but this I think this fall in November when we closed the music scenes again, I got in contact with a Peruvian producer who lives in the Czech Republic, actually. Okay. And in the same way, I tried to record my vocal and send it to him, and then he puts it in his frame of Latin rhythms,
right?
And that's very nice to work with other people. Even though you can't be with them, that's the best thing, to be with the musicians and work in the same room. But it's also great that it's possible to work with people who are doing totally different kinds of music than yourself. I really like it.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. It really does sound wonderful. Another one is Brunos Children. I want to know about that one for sure.
Oh yeah, that's the one I released in. Well, it's only a week ago, actually. I released that one. And I recorded it. I think I wrote it a little bit more than a year ago. And this song I wrote in a different way than any other song I've written, because I just woke up one morning and I had this chorus, these words and I could sing it. And I just took pen and pencil and wrote it down, and then that same day I wrote all the verses and the songs around the lyrics around that and the melody, and it was just there, and that was created in a very different way.
Right.
The song is well, usually I would sing, I would write lyrics taken from my own soul, my own life experience, but talking in general words, so that, a world tomorrow, everybody can relate to the words and maybe put it in their own frame. Yeah. When the past is done, it's a story about being in a good place and wanting to get out in the future. So it's in general. But this time I wanted to tell a story from my own life, which was kind of defining for my life for many years, actually. It was a traumatic experience I had with my children. I'm proud father of twins who are 19 years old today.
Right.
But 15 years ago, when they were 4, we got into big trouble because there was a person who was accusing me as their father for abuse, for having abused my children.
Oh.
And that was tough because the county did not investigate, so they acted on that and took my kids into custody
Oh
and
my
put them
goodness.
there for 8 months. So we were separated all that time and didn't know what would happen. They came back, but 4 years old and being away with people they didn't know,
Yeah.
it was really, really damaging.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
surprised. That's very
It was
dramatic.
very traumatic.
Yeah, for sure.
And I have, well, I've been working with that to heal as much as possible. And my son and my daughter has been working on that to heal as much as possible.
Right.
And now I just thought it was the time to sing a song about it. And I think when the lyrics came to me, they were just there.
Yeah.
In a very different way. It's something that really means a lot to me to tell the story in the song and also being able to sing it.
Yes.
Not to talk about it but sing it out loud with heavy drums and heavy guitar, really Springsteen-like guitars and so on, and sing it on stage because it's something in the past. It happened, but it was damaging.
Yeah.
And I needed to tell the story, actually.
Yeah, because you're carrying that to the future. I mean, right to the present. Sorry, you carry it with you, right?
Yes, yes,
not.
definitely. It's in the veins. It's in my system. It's in the nerves. It's in everything.
Wow.
And even though there can be very good times and very good days, it's still there as a pain that won't go totally away. Never. I don't think so. Never for any of us. We can be happy that, well, I'm doing music now, and that's a fantastic choice I did 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And my daughter, Laura Mena, started doing her own songs and productions last year, actually, and she got four songs out there. And she's a very good songwriter and talented singer. Right. So even though, but it's not, and my son, he's at the boarding school studying film production. So we're artists.
Yes, for sure.
So I think we'll have a lot of good things to come with our art, music, and film. But it's important. We've talked about that, Laura and me a lot, and Jonathan, that when we're telling this story in our lyrics or film or what we do, it's not a story about, like, a fairy tale where you go through a lot of pain and then all of a sudden you have a fantastic happy life. It's not like that, because it's something, pain like that and traumas like that you will bring with you all life, and you have to live with it somehow and make the best out of it.
I agree. Yeah. You have to get. Yeah, you have no choice.
No, there's no choice.
Life goes on. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I understand some of that. It's not easy. But I just want to change the topic a little bit, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
when you're putting out a song, whether it's in Danish or in English, is there a different reaction from people or from even with yourself, when you're singing it in Danish or when you're singing it in English?
It's very different. I sing in a different way when I do sing in English and when I do sing in Danish. It's a whole other way of the pronouncing, but also the tones that I bring out. I can't shout as much in Danish. I can do that in English. And it just gives different vibes and different melodies, and it's totally different. So actually what I do is that when I sing in English, it's my name, Brunos Children, and when it's in Danish, we have a duo, a poet, Kasper, who I'm writing the lyrics along with, and we call that låste døre in Danish, and that's called locked doors in English. Okay. So people will know that when I sing in Danish, it's with locked doors, låste døre, and when I sing in English, it's Brunos Children. Okay. Because it's totally, it's folk rock and country rock, both of it, but it's very different.
Right. Yeah.
It comes out very different.
I just kept thinking about it. How would it be, It's so interesting. Now we're just about out of time, but do you have a website that people can go to?
Yeah, I have a website because I'm connected with Big Records,
right,
in Canada, and they have a website where you can find all the artists, and you can find Brunos Children there as well. Okay,
for sure. I want to make sure that's included. When I put your name and your title in when I get this rendered, right?
Oh yeah.
So I think we're just about out of time. But just stay on the camera for a second there. Yeah. Everybody, I really hope you enjoyed listening to Bruno Christensen and about his music and his stories that went along with the music, which is something that with the song, something that I enjoy hearing about, whether it's good stuff or bad stuff. I think it comes from the soul somewhere, right? And yeah. I hope you continue to listen to the show. I'm going to air this today and have Bruno's website included. So check them out, check his songs out. They're also great. Thank you for watching this show, and I hope you'll continue to do so. And thank you, Bruno, for being here. I love having you here. We'll have to
thank you for inviting me. It was very great to be here.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, and peace out, everyone.
A sense of community, Chilliwack's a place to be. A sense of community where you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's a place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. Chilliwack's a place to be, you'll see.